What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of UCBP Reacts. I'm Hardo Martinez, and I'm joined by the legendary Arnaldo.
Paid him $10 to say that. I'm happy to be here.
Listen, today is a monumental day.
We have been waiting for this.
We literally have been waiting for this. What's crazy is that every single year, I think I texted you and I said, hey, this is the year it's going to happen. This is the year.
Yep.
Guess what?
This is the year.
This is the year.
No, it's the day.
It's the day. It's the day because, it's going to come out next year. So, but,
just in time to get a new PS5.
That's right. That's right.
Scalpers,
Hey, everything is in there. UCBP fans, you have been waiting for this moment. I know we have been waiting for this moment. I have seen the trailer for the new Metal Gear Solid 3 Delta, which is coming out sometime next year, I believe.
Sometime.
I've seen the trailer. Arnaldo, you have not seen the trailer. This is you reacting to the trailer for the first time.
Yes.
Are you ready to see this?
I am ready. Let's do this.
Let's check it out. And here we go.
May contain content inappropriate for children.
Please take your children out of here.
There's a Konami logo. Oh, okay. Yep. We've got some ants. We have many ants.
A lot of ants here.
A tree frog.
A tree frog, yes.
A parrot.
I wonder whose parrot.
Hello? Hello?
What was that in the distance there?
I didn't see anything but the parrot. I remember that.
Right through the fence. Okay, here he's landed. He landed on like some log.
There's
here.
where's the croc?
I think he's eating the frog now.
There's a croc. I knew it. Oh, how did I know that was gonna happen?
Oh, there comes the frog.
So we're watching the Discovery Channel.
Yeah, what are we watching? David Attenborough is gonna come out.
Someday he's gonna.
And here we have the planets.
In the forest.
We have to save the planet.
Oh, a figure. There he is.
There he is.
The man. Aww. And the classic song.
What a thrill.
Looks like the rose petals from. Here's Metal Gear Solid Delta.
Is that what that means?
That's what that means. Snake Eater.
What a thrill.
Dun, 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 dun.
I'm searching and
There
I'm
it is.
melting to
So it's coming out for PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, S, and Steam. Arnaldo, you just saw Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater Delta, apparently, coming out for all platforms.
Except for the Switch.
Except for the Switch. I mean,
Apparently.
come on. Yes. Seems like it's coming out 2024. With this announcement was also announced Metal Gear Solid 1, Metal Gear Solid 2, and 3 HD remasters.
Right.
So,
Remasters.
yes.
Another remaster.
Another HD remaster.
What?
So,
except
you
it's
know.
gonna have part 1.
Right, right.
And how do you remake these pixels? I mean, how much better can these remakes be? I mean,
listen.
remasters.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess they're just porting them over to the new consoles.
Okay.
What do you think about the new trailer?
Let me tell you right now, this is the time to make these, right? They did such a great job with Resident Evil 4.
Yeah.
And it was more story driven rather than they don't have to rely so much on overdoing it with the mechanics.
Yeah.
So it's like they can do a balance of both. And I think it's going to be something well driven. The story in part 3 was one that was very emotional. It was one that, made you care for characters that you would never care for. And I think now that we have the new gen consoles, we can actually dive deeper into those things with the tech.
And the thing about it too is that, we don't know the details of it if it's going to even have an online or anything like that, or online components and stuff. But what I am excited for is the playability of it. So, what new mechanics can there be, right? So now we have the blueprint for Metal Gear Solid 5, which I think is a perfect gameplay mechanic for it. Do you think that there's going to be a different type of gameplay, or it's going to be a faithful remake to Metal Gear Solid?
They've got to keep some things faithful. They
Yeah.
have to keep some things faithful. I think what they can do is expand on the areas. I mean, you've got a jungle. You know what I mean, so many possibilities, so many things. I think they're going to take the, if I'm not mistaken, they might take the Uncharted 4
route. Yep.
Where there's an open linear world.
Correct. Yeah,
Right,
which Metal Gear Solid 3 started.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But, PS2 and its limitations.
Yes.
They can only make it so big. So you can only imagine more enemies, more area to cover, more life around, right? More animals.
Yeah.
I think there's just so many things. And they might even, if I'm sure they're going to do this based on what we saw in the trailer, that the weather will be a very important thing.
100% I agree with that. Let's talk about the trailer. So it shows off the ants in the beginning. So it's kind of making the point of the food chain. So top of the food chain, from ants to, you see the frog, and then you see the bird, which is, if you don't know, that's a parrot from the end. And so it goes from the parrot to a snake, and then the crocodile immediately gets it there. So that's same croc from Metal Gear with the long snout. How did you feel about just kind of like the food chain? And obviously the top of the food chain is Naked Snake.
Naked Snake, of course. That's what I'm saying. It's time to dominate.
That's right.
The forest, the jungle, or whatever the case.
And then you mentioned it with the frog there.
It was a tree frog. It was
yep.
a little callback to the tree. Some days
that's right.
you feast on a tree frog.
I mean, come on. It seems like from hearing it, I heard it with headphones. It seems like the song has also been remastered or remade. So I don't know if it's if it's Cynthia Harrow still. It sounds like her.
It's definitely her. I'm sure. I mean, like, that's the only role she's ever had.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
and I'm pretty sure, as far as it goes, I think David Hayter is going to be involved in this.
Yep. So it says original voice actors, original score, and original
there you go, yeah.
story and all that. And
David
stuff.
Hayter has always talked about he would be willing to work with Konami, and I think Konami's going to take him up on that. And I think it's the only reason that people are going to buy it. I mean, they're going to buy it anyway, but it's like the hook. It's like David Hayter again for the David Hayter fans.
Now, we can talk about the elephant in the room, which is Hideo Kojima's obviously not part of this. Virtuous Studios is the one heading this. That we heard leaks about it. Screenshots were made about it. Bluepoint, we've always thought that Bluepoint was going to make this, makers of Last Guardian and all that and stuff, the Shadow of the Colossus and stuff. But it's Virtuous Studios. How do you feel them taking the helm and not being a faithful reimagination by Hideo Kojima?
Well, it's going to be tough. I mean, they've got all the material. Konami has all the material and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
They can only hope to just expand on something that's already been laid out. So it's pretty much like a few tweaks here, more story here. What's going to be different? They in part 5 they changed the codec conversations. Will they bring that to this game?
Yeah.
Will it be longer form conversations? Will you be able to move during those So it's like, it's things that they obviously they can change now. I'm sure back in the day, Hideo Kojima didn't want those long form codec calls while you're just like doing nothing, right? But it's just like, what can you do? So they've got like a whole play box with the format. They have the structure. Yeah. So how do I feel about it? I mean, man, I think you really have to try hard to mess this one up.
Yes, for sure. It's all there. It's laid out for you. The
story's laid out. The dialogue is laid out.
Everything.
The script is laid out. It's like, just take that story, and then on top of that, you have part 5.
Yeah.
So you have a story. You have all the other Metal Gears. And the engine. You have all the other Metal Gears that you can now include to connect with those games.
Right.
So, I mean, come on. They
can't mess it up.
If you do.
When I mentioned in the distance, it was a Shagohod. You can see the Shagohod in the distance being lifted just like how it was in the original game, which I like that they kept that. Obviously not gameplay. We didn't get gameplay this time. I think it's still obviously in development and stuff. But something I'm most excited about is the grand spectrum of things. So it looks bigger. It feels like the environment is going to play part of it, like you mentioned. What are you most excited about it?
Well, I'm just excited to revisit something that has been so cherished. So and I think for a lot of people that'll be it. That'll be like the nostalgia factor. And on top of that, it'll remind us of what we wanted the game to be.
Right.
Right. So it's just like, man, I wish I could have done that when
That's how we remember it.
PS2 games, right? But it's just like all the new mechanics that I'm sure they're gonna bring. The CQC, the weapons, over the shoulder, maybe the crouch walk, which they added in the DS version.
Yes.
You know, things of that manner. It looked like he had mud on his face. I think that's also going to be a proponent of the game, where it's just like you use it more than the camouflage, of course, that you can switch.
Of course.
But it's like maybe as you're crawling through, your camouflage becomes better because the mud is there, or something like that. It's just there's just so much you can do now.
I love that.
Yeah, and I think that's where Metal Gear. It's a real survival game versus in eating, in fighting, in hiding, and so it's a jungle. I think that's what we're looking forward to. It's just like, man, real survival, real big boss. This is why he's big boss, right?
That's right.
You know?
That's right.
So.
Listen, I'm excited for it. They've released some screenshots for it as well, which we'll put up here. But, in some of those screenshots, they show the bridge there. They show the environment. It's an environmental screenshot. So it's everything that has to do with the jungle and all that, some of the stuff you mentioned and stuff. But, guys, I'm excited for it. Arnold is excited. This is my favorite game of all time. This is Arnoldo's favorite game of all time. I mean, we have stories. You guys heard of it. We were featured in Podcast Beyond, and they told the story about us and the whole thing about Metal Gear Solid 3. We are so hyped for this game. I cannot wait. It's 2024, the release date. It looks like that, right now there's no confirmed release date, but it's coming out for Xbox Series S and X, PS5, and PC Steam. We'll see you next time. What's up, guys? Welcome to another edition of UCBP Reacts. I'm here with Arnoldo.
Hey, man.
Let's do that again.